Really interesting to think about how Finnick and Annie's romance came to be, because Finnick and Annie had such different philosophies with the games. Finnick won his games at 14, the youngest ever, and he was known to have been incredibly violent in these games. He was said to have essentially been a beast with the trident, just slaughtering people left, right, and centre, and winning his games. Whereas Annie went into her games much more of a pacifist. Although she did join the career pack midway through with her district partner, they eventually left. Annie was severely traumatized from these games because she had to watch her district partner be beheaded by someone from District 1. The only reason Annie actually won her games was because the arena was flooded and Annie was the only one who knew how to swim well. It's also important to note that Finnick was the one who mentored Annie in these games. When we see Finnick, we see this trained killer who won his games by doing exactly that. And it must have been hard for him to rationalize Annie's philosophy of not killing post those games. But he still wanted her to win. He still believed in her winning. And this is completely my own personal opinion. But I like to think that after Annie's games is when Finnick really starts to dissect what the Capitol is doing, more so than he ever had before. Because after his games, Finnick was sold by President Snow into prostitution. And he learnt that wealth wasn't in money or jewels, but in secrets. And there's a lot that he learnt about the Capitol citizens and about President Snow himself that became very important later on, and very threatening to those members of the Capitol. But it's important to note that Finnick was still raised by a career district. And it likely has the philosophy that active killing is the best way to win the games. But that's not the way that Annie won. And it must have been hard for him to watch a tribute essentially go into the games with a pacifist mind and not want to kill, especially after seeing her district partner beheaded. And I wonder, when she came out of the games, if Finnick started to question whether killing was the best way to play the game themselves. Finnick admits later on that his love for Annie crept up on him. He wasn't expecting it. It came as a surprise. And that might be because of their initial differing philosophies. We don't know when Finnick joined the rebellion movement. It could have been before Annie's games. It could have been after. Whether or not it was before or after Annie's games, I do believe that his relationship with her and him watching her win the games without actively killing people made him question a lot more and probably propelled him further into the rebellion movement. And I do think this would be an incredibly interesting story to explore within the Hunger Games universe.